Hi guys, I'm Jake, and today I will be your guide through our agency panel. Agency panel is a great option for you if you run your outreach for your clients. In Woodpecker, agency panel allows you to create separate sub-accounts with separate prospect databases, separate campaigns, separate statistics, and separate layers of user permissions. So if this is how you run your outreach, then agency panel might be just something for you. If you have already seen our video on how to create your first campaign, then you are just ready to get into the agency panel with us. So let's jump right into my Woodpecker account. Alright guys, so this is the agency headquarters. This is your main Woodpecker account from where you can navigate and manage your agency. This is the place where you can run the campaigns for yourself as well. This is also a place to have campaigns, prospects, and so on. But this is the place where you can manage your billing. The billing for the whole agency. This is where you can make any changes to the limits and so on. This is also the place where you can choose the permissions for your users. This is where you can add the team members and then grant them access to different clients. So this is just the headquarters from where you can go to your agency. So let's jump right into the agency panel. So there are two ways you can go to the agency panel. You can click on this suitcase icon. It says Agency Jungle Expedition because for some reason I called my agency Jungle Expedition. And also you can click on this drop-down menu and choose the agency Jungle Expedition right here. So let's click on it and get into my agency panel. Alright, so welcome to the agency panel. If we stick to the Jungle Expedition phrasing here, this could be your base camp for your expedition. As you can see, I already have some clients added. Each of those clients is a separate Woodpecker account, just like my headquarters, but without, of course, the billing tab and the team members tab. Just a regular Woodpecker account, able to send campaigns, have a separate prospect database. Currently I have 4 clients, and obviously this is the first view you see. The first view is your clients. You can see the name of your client, you can see who is the owner of the client, and that owner would be the user who created this client. You can also see the number of contacted prospects in this billing cycle and the number of currently stored prospects. These are shown here because both contacted and stored prospect are billing metrics. This is something that your billing tier consists of, and this can also give you a good perspective of how each of the clients contribute to your general usage of the limits, so how they contribute to what you pay to Woodpecker. Also, you can see the number of currently running campaigns. You can see a symbolic number of how many prospects are still in the queue, so left to be contacted. For example, I have a running campaign here which has already contacted all the prospects, so no prospects in the queue, so I might consider adding some prospects right here. So, and finally you can see the date added and date activated. Date added means the date that specific client was created, and date activated means a specific date when they were activated. Usually it is the same if you create and activate them right away, but if you deactivate them for some time and then clients get back to you, you rerun the campaigns for them, you activate the client to do that in Woodpecker, then the activated date might be different here. This also gives you a good perspective of how long a specific client is with you and how long have they been active recently. Now let's move to this blue switch, which allows you to deactivate the customer. So activating and deactivating client is a billing metric. By default, activating a client costs you $27 per month. That's the base price for single active client. If you do that in the middle of the cycle, in the middle of your billing cycle, you only pay a prorated amount. So if you do it in the middle of your cycle, you pay half of the $27. Similarly, if you deactivate your client, so no longer need them, no longer need to send campaigns under this client, you can deactivate them. And similarly, Woodpecker will return the prorated overcharge and grant you some discounts, grant you some credits, which will then lower your next payment. So if on the first day of your billing cycle you paid a full $27 and you deactivate, a certain client in the middle of your billing cycle, you get half of that $27 back in the credit. That will automatically lower your any of the next payments. If you do not need a certain client anymore, you finished the outreach for a specific client, you can deactivate them. Then they will be moved to the inactive tab, which stores the clients that are not currently active, so not sending emails. You cannot access the inactive clients, so in order to access that client, you need to activate them again. But if you're done with sending emails for a specific client, you can always deactivate them. You can remove the prospects under this specific client, because if you deactivate a specific client, the prospects will still contribute to your limit. So all those prospects that are stored under inactive ones will also contribute to your limits. But this allows you to return to a specific client later on in the future. You will have all your campaigns saved here. This allows you to return to this customer, reactivate them once you need them, and simply start the outreach once again with all the historical data, all the historical stats that you had once you're running the outreach for this specific client in the past. So if you do not need your inactive clients, you can also remove them. They do not contribute to your billing at all. They are deactivated, so they do not add anything to your billing besides the stored prospects. If you store prospects, they will still add to your overall limit, but otherwise they do not contribute to the price. They do not cost you any $27 anymore because they are deactivated. If you want to declutter the space here, you can also remove them permanently. You can do so by clicking here. This means Woodpecker will delete all the company data and the prospects. You can also just remove the prospects to stop affecting your overall limit, to stop affecting your stored prospects numbers, just leaving the empty clients just with the historical data. That's up to you how you want to manage this. You're only charged for the active clients. That's what you should focus on. Now let's try to add one client and see how it goes. So to add a client, I need to click on this blue button right here, and this will open a new menu of adding a client. Right here you can see the indication and reminder that this is a billing action, $27, or a prorated amount if you do it in the middle of your cycle. To create a client, of course, I need to start with a name of the client. So let's simply do a test client. Since I have two team members, myself and John, I can choose who will be the owner. It's by default, it's the owner that I'm logged to, so myself. But if I want to create a different owner, like another team member of mine, I can choose it right here. I can also right away create the API key for this client if I need to integrate anything. Keep in mind that the API key is generated specifically for each sub account, for each client alone. So we can always rename the client later on. So let's stick with test client for now. Let's stick with John as an owner. I can also change that later on, and let's add the client. Now, great, we have success. The test client has been added to my list of active clients. Also, here is the API key, which I can copy right away. And from here, I can also get back to my agency panel, or I can jump right into the account of my customer. For now, let's go back to the agency panel. So as you can see, my test client is already visible on the top of my list. No contacted prospects, no stored prospects, of course, yet, but I can easily start working with this client right away. To enter the client sub account from the agency panel, I need to click on the login button right here. For now, let's choose one of my clients that is having some action there, so some campaign running. Let's go to the wildlife client and see how it goes there. So as you can see, choosing to enter a client sub account opens a new tab in your browser, and you will be redirected to a similar account to your headquarters. So a regular Woodpecker account where you can run your campaigns, where you can have a separate prospect list, where you have your campaign, where you can see the stats for the send out. No stats here yet. You can review the stats for the campaign, and that's where you manage your client outreach. The difference here is that you don't have the billing tab, right? So you can't manage your billing tab. You can't manage your financial situation, change your limits or anything. This is only available under the agency headquarters. Similarly, for the company settings, I do not have the option to add team members here. Again, this is managed only on the headquarter level. So this is just a plain Woodpecker account to run your outreach in a more organized, more transparent way, to have a separate prospect database, have a separate campaigns, to not mix your different clients' data. All right, so back to the agency panel. For every single client I have here, I also have a drop-down menu. So once I click on this, I will see all the email accounts that are connected to this specific client. I will see the team tab, which shows me who is the owner of account. As I said before, I can change it right here. I can also authorize team members, but we will get back to permissions in the end of this video. Finally, the guest viewers, so another layer of permission for your users, which we will also cover in the end of this video. If we open some other client of mine, I will see an email account connected, and also I can see right here in the agency panel that there might be some issues with my account. So for example, my treasure client indicates that there is one problem to check, and if I open the tab, I see that in the accounts there is a problem with email account. So in this case, I might want to jump into this email account and check if it might need to be reconnected, for example. From here, I can also click on the settings and be redirected to the settings of that email account. Right here, I can see that this email account, in fact, needs to be reconnected. Right here, I can also see the domain details. So I can see that this email account is using this domain. I can also see a quick domain checkup. So SPF and DKIM, I can see their status. So whether the SPF and DKIM are recognized as valid. So definitely something to do here. So if I were running a real outreach for my client here, I would definitely jump into this customer to reconnect the email account. I can do it directly through this link. Also, if you manage a bigger number of clients, you can sort your clients to review how each client is performing. You can sort by numbers, for example, in terms of contacted prospects. Similarly for store prospects, for running campaigns. You can also sort alphabetically if that helps you. If there is more and more clients, you can also filter by owner, so searching for owner or choosing the existing one, and by the name of the client. If we have the agency panel clients tab covered, let's move to the outreach calendar. So outreach calendar is the place to check the send out for today. So as you can see today, 2 clients of mine have been sending emails. Nature client and wildlife client has been sending emails. This is the number of emails they send. For nature client, this is the name of the campaign, the email that has been sending, that's the delivery time I've chosen, and again the number of emails sent. If I click on that again, I will see the number of step. So my specific campaign has sent 9 emails from step 3 of my campaign. So this gives you a good perspective of what has been going on with your campaigns today. We also have another very important tab which might be helpful in understanding the performance of your clients, of your campaigns, and it's Deliverability tab. Okay, so this is Deliverability tab. This is the place where you can see the overall performance of all your clients, and also a general summary for all your agency in total. So the first place here, the first client here is the summary for all your account. Here is where you can see the total number of emails sent, delivered, views, replies, email efficiency, and the number of bounces. Email efficiency is especially cool info here because it allows you to learn how many messages you need to send to get one prospect reply. Below the summary for all your agency account, you can see the deliverability tabs for each specific client. Once you open a drop-down menu, you will see a graph that shows you how the volume was shaping in a chosen period of time, which you can also choose right here. This graph is also editable. You can choose what you want to show here, and based on what you choose here, you can also switch the values from single to cumulative if that's how you prefer to view the data. Once you review this, you can also export all that data into CSV or PDF. That's up to your needs. Feel free to use this period to check the performance for a specific period of time that you're analyzing. Also, if you want to generate it for a different time zone, you can also do it right here. This is available for every specific client you have. So another important part of your agency panel, another tab full of possibilities, is the settings. So these are the settings for your agency as a whole. So first of all, three important tabs we have here. The first one is Safety tab. Safety tab allows you to blacklist domains or emails on a global level. So whatever you input here, this will apply to all your clients. So if we add a domain here, this domain will not be contacted under any of your clients. So let's try to add a domain if we click on the blue button right here. So as you can see, this opens another menu which allows me to add domains to a blacklist. I can add whatever number of domains you need to add. Please make sure to add one entry per line. You can also add a specific percentage value which will blacklist, any ending. So for example, if I want to blacklist Woodpecker.co, but I also want to blacklist com and so on, and pl and org and so on, then in this case I can simply add a percentage right here, and Woodpecker will automatically blacklist any domain that meets these criteria. So if there is Woodpecker.co, Woodpecker.net, .org, .pl, anything, this will be blacklisted with this entry. So that's how you can make use of the domains to be blacklisted. We do not need to add this right now, but this is once again for your agency as a whole. This applies to all the clients under your agency. Each specific client also has a blacklisted panel, so you can also blacklist on a client level. Agency panel allows you to blacklist both domains and emails, so if you do not want to block a full domain, you can also blacklist just a single email right here. Now the second tab, also pretty important, pretty cool one, is the notification emails. So there are three types of automatic emails sent from Woodpecker to your users, to your team members. The confirmation email, so once you connect your email account to Woodpecker. The invitation email, so when you invite your colleague to be a team member in Woodpecker. And also, I forgot my password, happens to the best, right? So we have the three types of automatic emails that are being sent and can be sent to your team members and you. And this is the place where you can personalize the template. You can customize it according to your internal workflow. So up to you. You can add any content you want. You can simply send a test email to see how it works. So feel free to personalize this. You can also choose who exactly is sending this email. So if you want such notification emails to be sent from your internal agency email, feel free to connect that email and choose it right here. So add new and add your email right here, and such notification emails will be sent as if coming from your agency. So the third tab is white label. This is a paid add-on. This costs $5 per customer, and this allows you to create a facade page, so removing any of Woodpecker logotypes and branding and so on. This will be covered by us in another video, so stay tuned as I will create a full guide on how to create a white label. So once we are done with the settings, let's discuss the permissions and privileges of your team members. To do so, let's invite one colleague to my agency panel and see how that goes. To do so, I need to go back to the agency headquarters. As I mentioned before, agency headquarters is the place to manage all your billing, all the financial things, but also your team members and their permissions. To do so, I can click on billing or simply agency headquarters, and this will redirect me back to my main agency headquarters account. So back from the agency panel, right here, I can click on the settings and then company settings, which will direct me to the team tab. This is the place where I can manage and navigate around my team members. I can grant them permissions and invite them to my agency panel. So let's invite my colleague to my agency panel. To do so, I need to click on Add Team Member. So right here, and once I do it, I need to provide his full name, let's say Jacob, and his email address. So for now, I will not grant him the admin privileges, just to show you what a regular user, a regular team member without admin privileges can see in Woodpecker app. I can also provide a message which is optional, but if you want to personalize the invitation, feel free to do so right here. So let's send the invitation email. And success, your message has been successfully sent, and the person you've invited will receive an email with the invitation link. Now, I can add another new member, or I can go back to the team. So once my colleague receives the invitation, they will be able to create a new profile, a new password, and log in with their new credentials to Woodpecker account. So as you can see, this is the view from my Outlook inbox. Jacob has received the email invitation. As you can see, that's how it looks. So now I can simply click on accept invitation and create my profile as a Jacob in my agency panel. So once I click on it, I will be redirected to the Woodpecker app, where I can accept the invitation as this specific email address. I can choose a password, and I can accept invitation, which will basically create a new user account under my agency panel. Alright, so now I am logged in as Jacob, so as a regular team member, not an admin. I can see the clients that I have been an owner of, so test client. For test client, which I am the owner, I can change the owner. I can also add authorized team members, so other team members, just like me without admin privileges, which will have access to this specific client. If I would not have an access, I would not see a specific client. So for example, here are two clients made by Jake, so the admin of this account. Me as a Jacob, I can see those clients simply because I have been authorized by Jake to see them with this menu right here. So I was granted the access, I can enter and edit this client. But if Jake did not give me access as Jacob to this client, I would not see this client at all. So if an admin of my agency has more clients, I will only see the clients that I have been an authorized team member. So that's one way to manage the levels of permissions for you as an admin, and to spread the permissions among your agency workers. If I am Jacob, so I do not have the admin privileges, I can also go back to the agency headquarters, and as I said before, I will not see the billing tab. So me as a regular team member, I am not able to see the billing tab. I am not able to make any changes to the financial situation of the Woodpecker account. This is available only to the admins. I can also invite team members, sure, but I cannot add them admin privileges because I myself do not have the admin privileges. So these are the main differences between the admin and a regular team member user. As you can see, Jacob is not an admin, Jake instead is an admin, and you can see this little blue A right here. All right, so this basically creates three kinds of permissions. So you can be an admin, you can be a regular team member of agency account. Now, if you're a regular team member, you can be the owner of client, and you can also be simply an authorized team member. You can be an owner of one client and authorized team member of another client. So as you can see, this is a multi-leveled structure for you as an admin to manage different level of permissions and view-only accesses for your colleagues. This is up to you. You can decide how you want to manage and choose what is visible to other colleagues under your agency. I strongly recommend checking our help article here, because we'll list all the actions and views and possibilities and segregate them by different levels of permission. So we'll attach a help article below this video for you to check. Now, there is a fourth level of permission, which is kind of designed not really for your colleagues or employees, but rather for someone who is outside your organization. So for someone you might want to share sort of view-only access to certain campaigns, maybe to share some results with them. So in this case, we have created such option and it's called guest viewers. So here, as you can see, you can invite your guest viewers to see and export the results of your campaign. They won't be able to make any changes to your campaigns, but you can allow them to connect their mailboxes and see all email accounts. So let me add my colleague as a guest viewer and I will show you the difference in view of this wildlife client. You can add a guest viewer specifically for each client of yours. So let's do it for wildlife client first. I can add a guest viewer by clicking on the blue button right here. Alright, so to invite a new guest viewer, I need to provide the name and I will invite my colleague Alex and I can add his email account here in order to invite him as guest viewer. I can also allow him to add and manage their email accounts. So if your client is not really comfortable with sharing their password, you can enable this option and Alex as guest viewer, having only view only access to my wildlife client, will still be able to connect their email account on their own. So up to you if you want to use it. You can also include additional message if you want. For now, we will just create a regular guest viewer. So the invitation has been sent. Now let's wait until Alex accepts my invitation. As you can see, once the invitation has been sent, Alex remains here with the pending status. As soon as he accepts the invitation, he will be able to enter the wildlife client with his view-only access. I can also grant him the option to manage email account if I did not grant it earlier on. If you change your mind or the need arises, you can also get back to this and grant this access once again. If you run into any issues, you can also resend the invitation or remove it and back out from this decision. So this is how the wildlife client looks for me as an admin. It will look the same if I was a regular team member with the access to this client. So I can edit the campaign, I can go to prospects, I can export the prospects, I can go to settings and I can review and change the settings of my email account. While in the campaign, I can do a lot of changes to the campaign. So no limitations here. Now let's see how the change of this account will look different when I logged in as Alex. So this is how it looks when I log in as Alex. As you can see, it's much more limited. Only campaigns tab, only reports here as the name of the view. In the campaign, I cannot click on the edit. I can only access the stats, so I cannot change anything here. I can only export the results. I can only view the stats. I cannot stop the campaign. I cannot pause it. While in the settings, I do not have access. I cannot manage the email account, so that's all I see right here. If the admin grants the access to manage the email account, I will also be able to edit the email account. But right now, it's just a regular guest viewer, as I said, just a view only access. So good for anyone outside your organization, just to access and view how the campaigns are going, export the stats, and see how the performance looks. Alright guys, so this has been a quick walkthrough our agency panel. Whether you run an agency, a lead gen agency, whether you run a company with multiple clients and multiple employees, or maybe you just like your outreaches segmented and organized, agency panel might just be something for you. As you can see, Woodpecker agency panel allows you to customize everything at every step, starting from the layers of permissions, ending with notification emails. As you can see, agency panel can suit a lot of your different needs. We will soon be creating another video on more advanced features on Woodpecker, so stay tuned for more videos on that topic. I'm keeping my fingers crossed for your outreach, guys. If anything else comes to your mind, please leave a comment on this video, hit that subscribe button, and take care. Cheers.